On a quiet night, cold but brightly moonlit with a few dark clouds floating around the moon, I was following a path I had to take to get home. The moonlight illuminated the ground and the silence around me was terrifying. There was a group of children playing on a pile of sand at a small intersection, not far from a house being built by villagers. Their laughter echoed in the night sky, but it seemed extraordinarily ethereal. I watched from a distance, trying to figure out where these kids were coming from and what their intentions were. After all, it was already after 11 p.m. The children were chattering and playing. Strangely enough, some were flying through the air and others were chasing and playing on the ground. There were about half a dozen of them. They looked innocent, but they also revealed a hint of spookiness. I secretly hid in the shadows, quietly observing their movements. However, as I looked more closely, I discovered something shocking. There was a man lying on the pile of sand, and these children were actually stuffing sand into this man's mouth, and it was clearly visible under the moonlight that the man's nose, mouth, and ears were stuffed with sand. The man seemed to have lost consciousness. Suddenly the man moved a little. He struggled to take his pants off over his head, naked and wearing only an underwear. The children stopped stuffing sand and eerily stared at the man. They all didn't move a muscle, as if a parent had snatched a toy from a child's hand that they were playing with. Suddenly I heard the man fart. The sound of the fart caught the children's attention. However, the children suddenly went crazy and they were so excited that they started stuffing sand into the man's anus. A sick feeling welled up in me. Who on earth were these kids? Why were they doing such bizarre behavior to this man? I watched their actions intently, my mind filled with fear and confusion. I tried to figure out their intentions, but was caught in a deep fog. The children's expressions began to grow livid, their eyes revealing a glint of evil. I was shocked. Could it be that these child spirits were not angels, but some kind of cursed ghosts? I felt a chill hit my heart and was anxious to head for home, but still couldn't help but continue to observe. Suddenly a gloomy voice rang in my ears. "Do you want to play together too?" I was so scared that I turned around and ran. My whole body trembled, and I kept turning back to see if they had chased after me. However, there was only silent night around me, without any silhouettes. I felt a wave of panic. When I got home, I had a sleepless night, with those eerie scenes still lingering in my mind. This night's experience filled me with disbelief and fear about the existence of that group of children. What exactly was their real purpose? I didn't fall asleep until dawn the next day, and slept until 3 p.m. I woke up, and after telling my father what happened last night, my father didn't say anything. He just told me not to come home too late in the future. It's not safe. At dinner time, I realized that 2 days ago, 7 children sneaked into the construction site to play, where there was a pile of sand, but unfortunately, by the collapsed wall, 7 children are dead. What is even more strange is that last night the construction site of the contractor drunkenly bizarre death. The body is lying on the pile of sand on the side, The villagers saw the body of the contractor. In the man's mouth, nose, ears are full of sand. The villagers said that the man was drunk outside, freezing to death. Only I know the fact is not at all so, but I set out who will believe it. This world hides too many mysteries and unknowns. My door is just one of the helpless bystanders.